When we watch elite athletes, we see movement, not philosophy. But every sprint, swing, or serve hides a way of thinking, a disciplined pattern of feedback, failure, and recovery that defines mastery. In academia, we chase excellence too, through research, writing, and teaching, but too often we pursue it like endurance without rest. Publish or perish, perform or fade. Today on A4 Digest, I want to ask a simple question. What would happen if universities trained like sports teams? If scholarship borrowed not the glory but the grit of athletic performance, what could change in how we work, learn, and recover? There might be a shared DNA of performance. Strip away the uniforms and professors and athletes are not that different. Both perform under pressure. Both are judged publicly. Both live in cycles of preparation, performance, and reflection. What is the main difference? Athletes plan for fatigue. Academics pretend it doesn't exist. In sport, recovery is a metric. In academia, it's an afterthought. Yet the cognitive load of constant publication, peer review, and student mentorship is no less demanding than high-intensity training. The brain is a muscle too. It fatigues, it adapts, it needs rest. If we measured burnout the way we measure lactic threshold, universities would redesign their entire calendar. This comes to the resilience equation. Athletic resilience isn't toughness, it's adaptability. It's the ability to lose today and still train tomorrow. Every elite athlete lives by feedback. The cycle sounds like this: performance, reflection, adjustment, performance again. That cycle is relentless, but it's what builds consistency. In academia, failure is often fatal. A rejected paper, an unfunded grant, a critical review, and we take it personally, not professionally. But what if rejection was seen as data, not defeat? What if we treated feedback the way athletes treat film review, as fuel for iteration? Resilience in research is not about emotional numbness. It's about recovering your curiosity after every setback. What I like to call feedback as fuel. Sport is a living laboratory of feedback loops. Sensors track acceleration, video captures posture, coaches give real-time cues. The athlete is constantly adjusting micro-behaviors. Academia can learn from that immediacy. Peer review, by contrast, is delayed feedback, sometimes months or years after the experiment. By then, the insight has cooled and the lesson is lost. Imagine a research culture built on micro-feedback instead. Weekly idea scrums, small-scale reviews, interdisciplinary critique sessions. Athletes don't wait until the season ends to adjust their swing. Why should academics wait until a paper is published to adjust their hypothesis? Feedback, done early and often, transforms potential into progress. This brings us to the science of recovery. Every athlete knows what training, stress without recovery leads to injury. In academia, overwork is almost a badge of honor, but chronic intellectual fatigue blunts creativity. Neuroscience tells us that divergent thinking, the root of innovation, declines when the brain is sleep-deprived or emotionally taxed. Elite sport treats rest as strategic. There are deload weeks, ice baths, sleep trackers, nutrition protocols. Imagine if academia did the same. Sabbaticals reframed not as luxury but as physiological necessity. Conferences that included cognitive recovery workshops. Universities that tracked psychological readiness as closely as publication output. Because the opposite of laziness isn't overwork, it's recovery with intent. This is why we need training for precision. Athletes improve by breaking performance into measurable components: stride length, swing angle, muscle firing patterns. Academics could apply the same micro-analysis to their craft. How do you write under pressure? How do you present complex ideas when adrenaline spikes? What does your focus curve look like over a day, a week, or a year? Precision isn't perfectionism, it's pattern awareness, recognizing the rhythms of your own cognition. That's performance science applied to thinking. If you're applying for academic jobs and feel stuck guessing, I've released a free roadmap to professorship toolkit. It has CV and cover letter templates, job talk guidance, submission strategy, and the unwritten rules of academia. The Roadmap to Professorship Toolkit is a practical set of templates, guidance, and lessons for academic job applications, CVs, cover letters, job talks, teaching philosophy statements, and submission strategy. The toolkit covers academic versions for both the US and the UK. It also covers the unwritten rules of academia, how to craft a strong research narrative, what to do when hiring committees go quiet, and how to deal with imposter syndrome. Thousands of scholars waste years guessing. You don't have to. In 2026, that can change. You can find the free toolkit in the video description below. Now let's think about culture and team dynamics. In sport, culture isn't decoration, it's infrastructure. Teams spend as much time building trust as building muscle. They understand that no individual wins alone. Academia, in contrast, still glorifies the solitary genius. We publish single-author papers, build hierarchies of titles, and compete for scarce recognition. But collaboration is no less athletic than competition. Elite teams don't fear feedback from peers, they depend on it. Imagine a research lab run like a high-performance team, shared debriefs, psychological safety, mutual accountability. That's not idealism, that's team science, translating the athlete mindset to scholarship. So how can academia apply the athlete's toolkit? Number 1, warm up. Start your day with cognitive activation, reading, movement, reflection. Number 2, for drills, short focused research sprints instead of endless multitasking. Number 3, game simulation. Present ideas before they're finished. Stress test them. Number 4, a cool down. Daily decompression rituals. Walk, stretch, disconnect. Number 5, season planning. Alternate periods of intensity and recovery. Design academic off-seasons. These aren't motivational hacks, they're performance protocols for the mind. This is where academia and athletes converge in the A4 Digest philosophy. AI measures performance. Academia translates data into understanding. Athletes embody resilience. Altruism reminds us why it matters. When these systems meet, the future of learning becomes sustainable, not extractive. It values rhythm over rush, collaboration over competition, and humanity over hierarchy. So, in closing, remember that in sport, success is visible. In academia, success is invisible until it's lost. But both worlds tell the same truth. You can't perform at your peak if you never pause to recover. Maybe the future professor will train like an athlete, monitoring mental load, seeking feedback, honoring recovery. And maybe the future athlete will learn like a scholar, questioning, researching, reflecting. In that confluence lies a new model of excellence, resilience, regenerative, and real. Because greatness in any field isn't about being unbreakable, it's about being rebuildable. Until next time.